Well, economist John Connaughton, as we look ahead to 2015, it's important to look back a little ways into this past year and tell us a little bit about what happened in the second half of the year that bodes well for the coming year.
Well, I think there are a couple of interesting things that took place in the second half of 2014, both nationally and in North Carolina. The big one, of course, was how strong job growth was in the second half of this year. I think it caught a lot by surprise. We had been struggling for a number of years trying to get back to the level of jobs we had when this whole Great Recession began back in December of 2007. The U.S. surpassed that in early 2014. We didn't think North Carolina, because we had a number of years of slow job growth in the middle of this. We didn't think we were going to get there anytime soon, probably not until somewhere in 2015, maybe even the summer of 2015. As it turns out, we made it in October. We've had a phenomenal job growth year. We think we're going to add about 98,000 jobs this year. We've already added about 80,000 of those, so we've got 2 months to go to fill in the remaining 18,000. We don't think that's going to be much of a problem, but we're back now with an employment level that's higher than the pre-recession top point, and we're actually a little bit above that at this point in time. Second thing that has taken place in 2014, which caught, I think, everybody by surprise, even bigger than that, was the tremendous tumble that we've had in oil prices. We sort of peaked out in June of 2014. Price of crude at that point, Brent crude, was about $111 a barrel. That was the peak over the last several years. Yesterday's close was $66. That is a massive drop. So far, gas prices have fallen. Nationally, they've fallen from about $3.77 in June to about $2.88. It's not as big a percentage drop, but you have to remember gas price ups and downs kind of lag the oil price, because we're selling gasoline now that was crude oil a month or two ago and sold at that price, so we haven't caught up to it yet. So we've got more to go in terms of the gas price going down a few cents more. We think that certainly by the first of the year we'll see sub $2 a gallon gas locally in South Carolina and maybe in some parts of North Carolina. We've already got it nationally.
Well, and gasoline prices are, for most of us, sort of a personal or a family barometer of how the economy's going, and I guess it's probably fair to say we're used to a certain amount of fluctuation. But what's fluctuation either way in price that really you say that's going to affect the economy?
Okay, we kind of look at it in 50-cent intervals.
Okay.
And when gas price drops by 50 cents, that, both in terms of transportation costs, but also in terms of logistic costs, home heating oil, the entire spectrum, puts about $145 billion into American consumers' pockets for new discretionary income. Now, to put that number in perspective, everybody remembers a couple of years ago we had that 2% Social Security tax holiday that was argued to be a very important stimulus, and we finally lost it. The annual cost of that package is about $150 billion. So you can see that 50-cent drop in gasoline price is like getting that 2% Social Security tax holiday back. We've already had almost a $1 drop in gasoline prices, so we're looking at potentially as much as $300 billion annually in new consumer spending, discretionary spending. If gas prices stay at or around low $2 level, if crude oil stays in the $60 to $70 a barrel range, the longer it does, it doesn't matter what anybody does, we're going to have a great economy in 2015. We can't mess that up. This is, the cost of energy is so integral to what happens in the economy. It can cause a recession, and it can, paint over about anything that's going on. Not that anything's bad's going on. I think things are doing pretty solid in the economy. What people tend to forget is that this has been, so far, the 6th longest economic expansion of the 33 expansions we've had since 1854 that we've kept track of. Yeah. And by July of next year, 2015, which I'm sure the expansion will continue at least through that point, it will make it the 5th longest expansion. And it hasn't been strong, but it has been long and steady.
And it sounds like, with just a few seconds left, as goes the country, so goes North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, I think earlier on that wasn't the case in this recession, but in the last year and a half, that's certainly been the case.
All right, well, economist John Connaughton, thank you for joining us, and we'll look forward to speaking with you again.
All right, Steve, thanks.
All right.